So Warframe's dev workshop post for the primary and melee rebalancing has just gone live a few hours ago, and there is quite a lot of changes, right? Some that I will cover in this video, and other ones like the helmet changes and the power zone changes, which I will go over in a different video. But overall, I think no one likes change, right? Especially in the Warframe community. Every time there is one of these dev workshop posts or there is big changes, there's a bit of an uproar, especially when that change affects something, an item in a game that you're using a lot, right? So I fully understand if people are getting worked up. Now, I will go over what I like and what I don't like about the workshop without myself overreacting to everything. I'll make my opinion when the changes get added to the game and I get to test everything myself. I think ever since they mentioned this workshop was coming, a lot of us in the community were expecting these changes or changes like these for certain mods and weapons. In fact, I was expecting some other items to get hit as well, which thankfully didn't happen. The Kuva, I think we could all agree, it could be seen getting a nerf from a feckin' country mile away. It is, I think, right now the most used gun in game, and overused in Warframe in the past has always led to a nerf. Don't ask me why. It's a nerf mentality. I've made videos about it dating back years. It's just the way to do things. It shows them that something is out of balance because it's getting used way more than anything else. But melee right now in Warframe is king, right? It's always been king, and honestly, even with these new changes, it will still be king. So getting worked up about it is a waste of your own energy. Melee will still allow you to run Steel Path with these changes with ease, and a new meta will show up within days of these changes being added, because that's what the Warframe community does. But with the addition of the new Galvanized mods and of course the new primary and secondary Arcanes, certain guns could be throwing out some serious damage, which will allow you to mix your playstyles up a bit instead of just mindlessly going around with your melee weapons. So it could, I guess, affect or stop you being affected by burnout so quickly. It's not all doom and gloom, but let's just look at the changes overall, right? First of all, they started the dev workshop post by saying they believe gun stats are in an okay place, but mods is what they need to work on, which is true. But then again, maybe some passives to primary or secondary weapons could have been nice as well, like what the Cedo has, or maybe they're planning on adding some of those to new upcoming guns. That would be nice to see. But Berserker, Condition Overload, Blood Rush, Glaives, and the Kuva, and of course maybe the Smita Kavats are the big changes with this workshop. But they are also now allowing us to unlock an Arcane slot, like I said, on your primary and secondary weapons, which I'll go over in a second. There is also 9 new Galvanized mods being added to primary and secondary weapons, which again I'll talk about in a second. But first up, the Berserker Changes. Now, the Berserker mod is being renamed Berserker Fury. Its attack speed is changing also to a non-stacking speed attack speed buff, so it won't stack with other attack speed mods like Primed Fury, but it's also being reduced from a 75% attack speed buff at 24 seconds on your critical hit, so it would trigger whenever you would get a critical hit. It's now changing to a 70% attack speed for 10 seconds on kill, so now you need to get kills in order to trigger your Berserker Fury buff. It's also 5% less effective, and it only lasts 10 seconds. So they've knocked a full 14 seconds off the duration of this buff. Which, honestly, will this have much of an effect on the mod itself? Probably not. I mean, your melee weapons will still blitz through fodder enemies really quickly, which means the buff will be active for most of the time. You'll just be 5% slower. Them removing its ability to stack with other speed buff mods was added in, they've said, simply because it's making the game look messy. Animations get broken, animations don't work right when you're attacking too fast, faster than the animations can show. But attacking faster for a player also meant that you were throwing out a much higher DPS. I honestly don't know many people though that were running with Primed Fury and Berserker on the same build. It seems overkill, but then again, overkill is something that Warframe players do best. Now, the Blood Rush changes are a flat 20% nerf to the mod's crit chance scaling. So originally it was a 60% crit chance stacking with your combo counter. Now it's down to 40% crit chance stacking with that combo. So red crits will be harder to obtain. They won't be impossible, I think. Maybe certain weapons will hit it that little bit easier. And if you're able to still stack Gladiator mods with your Sentinel, then it will probably still bump you into the red with certain weapons. But we gotta wait and see what these changes are actually like when they get added. It still stacks with Weeping Wounds and Condition Overload, so with the right tweak of Arcanes or Pet, you could still be throwing out pretty huge melee numbers. Condition Overload, the king of melee mods right now, right? The go-to mod. This is being nerfed from a 120% bonus damage per status effect up to a maximum of 3 status effects, down to 80% of a buff, per status effect, but they've said that the restriction of 3 status types is being changed back to how it originally was, which I can't honestly remember what it originally was off the top of my head. Was it not without restrictions originally? Because if that's the case, then it might not be so bad. In fact, it might be quite bloody powerful still. Someone in the comment section will have to jog my memory as to what it originally was. Now, the Kuvanukor took one of the biggest hits out of everything in the dev workshop. Its beam now only links to 2 enemies instead of 4. It was originally 4 enemies, but the dev workshop on the forum said that that's all the changes it was getting. But in the dev workshop video that Rebecca threw out, she also kind of skirted around or possibly mentioned minor stat changes, but then I don't know if that was something that it was just her going off script on video, or if it's not going to happen. I'd imagine whatever's in the actual forum post, it's going to stay like that. I doubt the stats will change. They are also adding 9 new galvanized mods, 6 for primary and 3 for secondary weapons. This is them. Now, I'm not going to go over each one individually. You can see their stats on the screen, but they all work off of kills as well, just like Berserker and just like the new Arcanes as well, which could be an issue on higher level missions for certain weapons, but it's kind of going to have that knock-on effect. Once you start getting kills, then your damage is going to be ramped up, and you should be able to keep them kills going. The big thing for me here with these mods is that they are definite upgrades to the original versions of these mods, but they're also rank 14, so they're going to take up a lot of your mod capacity, which is great that they're upgrades and they're going to be throwing out more damage. But why did they have to be level 14, dude? Why couldn't you just bump them down a little bit? I don't want to have to put way more Forma onto my weapons just to fit some of these mods on. And hopefully I won't. But then on top of that, there's the argument that they could have just reworked existing mods instead of giving us more mods on top of the thousands and thousands of mods that we already have in game. It seems like another way to extend the grind and give you something to aim for. And then you have these Arcanes as well. There is 6 of them, right? 3 for primary and 3 for secondary, that you're going to need to farm in the Steel Path and unlock by killing acolytes. That's what will drop them. These Arcanes also, like I said, activate off of kills. Some of the Arcanes, however, sound really, really good. An example, right? Primary Merciless, which is one of the new Arcanes, on kill will give you a 30% increase to your primary weapon's damage, but it stacks 12 times, while also increasing your reload speed by 30% and increasing your maximum ammo by 100%. So I'm already imagining certain weapons that you could run this on. The Cedo being one of them, because it is one of my favourite weapons right now, and it is so bloody effective without any of these buffs. It's the one weapon in the game probably right now, primary weapon in the game right now, that I enjoy running because it's so effective. But imagine having 100% extra magazine on something like a Supra Vandal while having a massive buff to your damage output as well. Just the shit out of a room. That hurt my throat. So the combination of the Arcanes and the mods could change guns a lot, but there is going to be a pretty big grind in order to get all of these items first. In order to bring our guns up on par with melee weapons that might only need 1 Forma and they're done, or 2 Forma and they're done. For the guns, you're going to need multiple Forma to fit in some of these new galvanized mods. You're going to need to unlock the Arcane slot as well. You're going to need to fully rank that Arcane up to rank 3, depending on how many Arcanes you're going to need in total for a rank 3 one. And then you're going to need to open up an Excellence slot possibly as well. So you're going to have to put way more effort into your primary and secondary guns in order to get them in par or on par with a melee weapon that might only need 2 Forma, maybe 3 Forma. So is it going to be worth it? I guess you guys can let me know in the comment section below. Steel Essence farming is also getting some changes. One of them is a quite weird change, I don't understand it. Steel Essence Incursion alert missions will earn you more Steel Essence per alert. So it's going to go up from 3 Steel Essence when you do these alerts up to 5. Acolytes will also spawn more often, meaning more Steel Essence dropping from these Acolytes as well. However, they are making Steel Essence that drops from these Acolytes despawn after 5 minutes, which I don't see the issue with leaving it out. Or why do you need it to despawn? What is it causing people's games to crash? Is it causing some kind of data overload? Like, why do you need it to despawn? The only reason that they're making it despawn is to stop players from using the Smita buff, which was allowing them to leave Steel Essence on the ground, and then when you would get the Smita buff, which would give you double resources, you could just run over, pick up your Steel Essence, and there you would end up with 4 of them, 6 of them, 8 of them at a time. So that's the only reason, which blows my fucking mind, that they literally are doing that change because they don't want their community to farm steel essence too fast. I maybe there's something else, maybe I'm missing something. Let me know in the comment section below. Why do you think they're changing that? Glaives are also seeing changes to their quick throw damage by having it half the amount of a fully charged heavy throw, while also increasing the heavy throw charge speed to double what it currently is. So charging you up to throw your glaive will now take twice as long as before, and if you want to just quick throw it, it's going to do half the damage that it did before. That's pretty much the gun rebalance workshop changes. Some changes I like. The Arcanes and the Galvanized mods could be really nice with the right combination of weapon and I guess mod and arcane, but also the idea of adding more mods, like I said, on top of what we already have, I'm not a fan of. I don't think constantly just adding into the mod pool is going to last forever. You know, that's not what everyone wants. Changing steel essence and making it despawn, again, no fucking sense. I don't see why that's happening. Berserker not stacking with other attack speed mods isn't about anything other than ruining the visuals of the game's animations, the attack animations, which the developers have put a lot of time into getting in the game. Don't paint it any other way than what it actually is. And the new core was always going to be nerfed. It's the Atarax of 2021. But share your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the dev workshop, and as always, thanks for watching.